Welcome back. We're back at the Brick. Whoa, haven't been here for a while. It's a classic. It's a classic. So today I just wanted to kind of think my thoughts out loud about this one kind of identity that I have trouble with. I had trouble with breaking, on this kind of journey, this pathway that you take to awaken, to fucking unlearn all the bullshit, to unsee what isn't, to see what is but unseen what isn't. This kind of thing, you have to kind of see what your awareness is contracting around. And what are the sensations that you're identifying with? And what are the things that keep coming up, What are the things that keep coming up? And so anyway, the big one that I've noticed is the role of the artist. The identity of an artist. For me, that includes like filmmaking and writing and making music. Even the clothes that I wear and the way I style my hair. It's art to me. Graphic design. Just the whole kind of So what usually happens is I'll hear a good piece of music, and I'll be inspired and I'll want to create something like that. Or I'll watch a good film, I'll be inspired, I want to create something like that. I'll see ideas that I want to incorporate into my own and make my own kind of film. Or I see a band that's wearing cool clothes and I want to fucking, get that fucking jacket and wear that. And so this is the kind of identity that's really fucking hard for me to let go of. The role of the artist. And I don't know. Mate. And I don't think that there's a desire for other people to see me as an artist. I do it for myself. I think maybe before I would wear clothes and listen to music, and I'd want people to recognize me a certain way. I'd want people to recognize me as this person that likes this music and that dresses this way and is interested in these bands and these films and all that. That's kind of gone for the most part. But what is still there is that, so it's I'm not doing this for other people. I don't want to be perceived as an artist. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if people, I don't give a shit however people perceive me. I do it for me now. I just see some kind of art and I'm inspired by it, and I want to make something similar. I want to fucking make something similar, and it causes a lot of fucking fucking frustration and anxiety and drive. I need to get this done. And there's so much shit that inspires me that I get overwhelmed by all these fucking great ideas. And I'm fuck, I need to fucking do it now. I'm impatient with it. Yeah, I'm impatient. And this is what I've kind of wanted in my life, to be a kind of artist, but only from the reference point of having a career. Like, I've just got told by society and all this that I need to have some sort of career or some sort of work or some sort of job. So then I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do any of the conventional shit. I'll just like be an artist. I'll just do my own shit, make music, make films. I can do my own shit. So that's only something that I want to do in relation to, you know, when people ask me, you know, what are you doing? What do you do? You know, when they're really asking, like, what do you do for money? What's your career? What's your job? What's your work? You know, and so, you know, what I want to be able to say is like, oh, I'm an art and I fucking make films, I music or whatever. But you know, if that pressure was never put onto me, like if society and the education system and parents and teachers were never like, what are you going to do when you leave school? Like, you have to do something. What job are you going to get? What work are you going to do? You know, if that pressure was never put onto me, then I would never think of art being like, you know, as a work or a career. I'd never think of like, people ask me like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I make films and music. And I still don't think of it like that, you know. I just fucking do what I love. I want to do what I want to do, you know. I don't need to fucking prove myself to anyone. And that's been a big difficulty as well, because, you know, as we all know, as we all grow up in this fucked up society, we get pressured to do a lot of shit. Like, what are you gonna fucking do for work and money and all that? And, you know, we're overwhelmed with fear, and we just go and do like fucking whatever, you know. So we all know what that's like, that pressure that people put onto you, that, you know, you've got to fucking do something in the world, when all that's bullshit, right? You've got to see through it. It's bullshit. Reclaim your mind. Don't put your mind in the hands of others. Once you reclaim your mind, then you realize that it's only you that's putting pressure on yourself. I mean, of course, when you grow up, you don't have the kind of same cognitive function as you do when you're an adult, I suppose. Maybe, I don't fucking know the neuroscience behind it, but basically, you know, you grow up in the world and you're just a fucking innocent little baby, and people are putting on all this conditioning onto you, and then you grow up, and but then when you're an adult, you know, you actually have the resources and independency to reclaim your mind, take your mind back out of the hands of others, and keep it for yourself. And once you do that, then you realize that the pressure that people are putting onto you is actually not anyone else's except your own. And so, you know, this is where I'm at. Like, I've reclaimed my mind for the most part. I see that whatever I think people are putting onto me, or whatever I think is, you know, if whatever view I have of the world being fucked up, or other people being fucked up, or me being fucked up, that's just all my conditioning, and it's up to me to take responsibility for that. No one else can do it for me. No one else can make me perceive the world in a better way. No one else can make me perceive myself to be good, you know. That's up to me and me only, you know. So reclaim your mind, grab your power back. That's the first step. Step number 1. Take your mind out of the fucking hands of other people. Take responsibility for your life. Realize that the only pressure that's being put onto you from the world is just your own pressure upon yourself. You know, it's all conditioning. It's all mental constructs. It's all, you know, you don't have to believe in what society believes as a whole. You know, it's up to you to perceive reality any way you choose. Now, of course, it's going to have consequences. You know, if you start perceiving reality in the complete opposite way that the majority of society perceives reality, you're going to have a hard time in society. So, But what I'm saying is that you got to realize that the perception that's operating in order for society to operate, you got to realize that that perception is a game. It's a mind game, right? It's a concept. It's a collective hallucination. And you know, if you don't play by the rules, there's going to be consequences. You could get fucking locked up in a cage. So, but yeah, the important thing is that you recognize that it's a game, right? If you're going to step into society, you've got to play by the rules. Because if you don't play by the rules, you could get fucking put into jail. So, but I'm not saying that it's like, you know, the difficult thing here is that when suffering occurs when you realize society isn't a mind game, when you realize that it's an actual physical thing in reality. That's when suffering occurs, when you realize that when you think society is reality, when actually it's just a game in the mind, as a mental construct. All of it. So anyway, so yeah, basically I want to talk about this kind of identity as an artist. I think there's two big identities that are holding me back. The identity of the artist and the identity of a kind of philosopher or like a philosopher with all this spiritual knowledge or whatever. Like, that's another identity that I've got to let go of. The intellect, the mind. See, that's the fucking hardest thing because, you know what I'm saying, reclaim your mind out of other people. And then when you've done that, you form this very strong attachment to your mind because you're you're independent now. You've reclaimed your independency. And then the next step from that is that you've got to let go of the mind itself in order to be free, you know. A lot of people, including myself, on this path to awakening are very attached to their intellect and to their knowledge. Very difficult. You know, you've got to let go of all your you know, you've got to if you want to fucking awaken, you've got to let go of your philosophies and you know, the ways in which you see yourself to be sort of more knowledgeable than the rest of the world and other shit like that. Like, you've got to let that go as well. So that's hard. But anyway, what I want to talk about mainly is what was on my mind is this identity of an artist, of this identity of like this kind of like anxious drive and impatience to be the source of to constantly create shit that I'm inspired by. Like, there's a ton of artistic and creative shit that I get inspired by, and I'm impatient. I'm like, I have to fucking get this thing done now. I have to, you know, I have to do it. Like, I want to do that. Like, it's just not enough for me to say, watch a film or listen to a piece of music and go, fuck that, I really like that, that was good. It's not enough for me to do that. I listen to a piece of music or I watch a film and I'm like, fuck, that was so good. Now I have to do something similar to that. And if I don't do it, then fuck. I mean, that's kind of the same thing as what I'm doing here now, like talking about shit, using language and words to create meaning. Like, I watch other people do that on YouTube and shit, talk about philosophy, using language to concoct meaning and all this shit, and I like analogies and, you know, how you can use language in a kind of poetic way, you know, and that's what I'm doing here now. And It's the same thing. If I watch people talk, I'm like, fuck, I want to go out and fucking talk now. That's why I'm fucking doing this. So it's this thing of like me wanting to do what I'm inspired by, and you know, if I don't do it, I suffer. I mean, you may be thinking like, what's wrong with that? Like, what's wrong with seeing something beautiful and wanting to create something similar? You know, being inspired by that and wanting to create something similar. What's wrong with that? Well, nothing inherently wrong with that. The only thing that fucks up is a sort of need, a sort of like a clinging to the desire to create, like, and like perfectionism comes in here as well. Like, I've got to make this, and I've got to get my idea out into the world in the most perfect and clear way that I want it to be. I'll tell you from my own experience, what's wrong with it is that when I'm attached to some inspiration and I need to go and do something, I have trouble with relaxing and just being present. I'm on the move. I'm constantly, let's go, fucking, I need to do that. And you know, I'm not saying I'm really fucking productive, but I am saying that, you know, like, there's this constant like energy within me, like this, I've got to do this. And you know, not always am I actually working towards what I'm inspired by to create something. A lot of the time it's just ideas running through me. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is good, yeah, fuck. I'm writing shit down, writing ideas down. And then then suffering perpetuates when I've got like a fucking ton of ideas and I'm overwhelmed with ideas, and that causes a lot of fucking anxiety and a fucking like constant energetic thing of like, I need to do all these ideas. Like, you can see where I'm coming from. You can see the kind of energy of this, of like, I've got to fucking do these ideas. I've got so many and I've got to complete them, right? And you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be dead. And all my art that I've ever produced and all the art that I've ever been inspired by will be completely erased, gone forever, you know? And that's really what awakening is. It's just dying before you die. And, you know, so yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. You know, sometimes I'm not so driven by creating something, and sometimes I'm more driven by just being and sort of practicing meditation. And you know, it's a shift. Like when I'm into just kind of being aware of the sensations that arise in moment to moment experience, but I'm sort of just kind of like interested in meditation and awakening and just being present in the moment. I'm not interested in creating art or consuming any art. And then the other, it's vice versa. Like when I'm really like inspired by shit and I want to create shit, there's no interest in wanting to meditate or be in the moment, you know. So I guess I have to really bring these two, I have to integrate these two into one. Bring the mindfulness into this kind of frustrated and impatient energy. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah, but it's been tricky because I remember this is all that I wanted to do. It's all that I thought that I wanted to do, like making music and films. It's what I thought I wanted to do, like every day. And I thought I would be satisfied. Like a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, not too long ago. I mean, it felt a while ago, but like when I came out of school, like it was like, oh, okay. Every day I want to be kind of like working on some kind of creative project, and until that day occurs where every day I'm doing something towards this. Until that day occurs, I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm only going to be satisfied when I'm doing this. And the day has come where, for the most part, I'm doing a lot of kind of creative shit. Well, I'm doing it when I feel like doing it. But I'm still not satisfied. Still not satisfied. So there's all this kind of shit that's like in my mind, like, okay, there's this thing, and there's this thing, and there's this thing, and I've got to advance to this level, and then this thing I've got to advance to this level, and it's just all kind of like, I'm never gonna be fucking perfect, and I don't know, like, everything's an ongoing process, like, I don't know, man. Don't know. One thing that's come to mind is the social aspect of creating art, because the shit that I do, like making films and making music, to do it solo, you can only go so far, and you can only reach a certain satisfaction. There comes a point, and I'm getting to that point, where it's like I need other people, in a film, I need more cast than just me. I need someone to film. I need a sound person. I need all this kind of shit. And for making music, I'm in a band, and sometimes when I say, for example, write a song, I've got ideas of what I want, how the arrangement wants to be, and what I want the other instruments to be doing, and that causes anxiety within me, because it means that I'm gonna have to speak up about what I want, how this song to be arranged. And I've always struggled with the social side of life. I've always been kind of shy, and it's not easy for me to express what I want and what I feel. And that's a kind of thing that probably most people experience, but for me it's a bit more prominent than most people, I'd say. I think I'm in the minority of feeling quite fearful of feeling humiliated and embarrassed. That's a kind of prominent thing in my life, that I am quite fearful of feeling embarrassed and humiliated. And it gets easier over time as I learn mindfulness, and as I just get more tolerant to shit, but you know, it's an ongoing process. And so this is another factor of it, I suppose, is that, say, for example, making a film, like I would have to reach out to people to ask them if they can do this for me, and I'll have to explain to them what kind of shots I want and all this kind of stuff. And that's quite overwhelming for me, because it takes up a lot of energy. Like, it's not just a clear thing of like, okay, what's the next step in this film that I'm making? What's the next step? Well, the next step is that I need some cast. Okay, what will I do? I'll go online, see if anyone wants to be my film. You know, simple as that. Just like, let's see if I can go find some people. Right? That would be the you know, step by step. Let's just go and find somebody. But to me, it's like, okay, what's the next step? Let's go find somebody. Oh fuck, gotta go find somebody. Like, okay, how am I gonna do this? And I'm going off into so many fucking stories that I'm habituated with throughout the years, and well, if I do that, I'll feel embarrassed and humiliated. If I do that, you know, what will I look like, and all that shit. So it uses up a lot of energy, and it uses up a lot of time thinking about all this shit, until I just kind of go, oh fuck, until I've used up so much energy that I don't actually have the energy left to actually take the necessary step that I need to take. So this is another kind of problem with creating art, is the social side of it. And I suppose you could say that's another identity that I've got to fucking let go of. But yeah, it's probably the biggest one, because I look back at my life, and I notice this pattern of shyness and social anxiety and fear of people, fear of being criticized and humiliated, and I'm constantly running away from that. And it's always been like this. And I do my best to help this part of myself. And what else more can you do than do your best? You know. So yeah. I don't know, there's lots to it. There's yeah, I mean, some days I feel very contracted around some kind of identity, and it's so hard for me to kind of rest in awareness and just kind of bask in the joy of being, because there's this drive and purpose that I need to attain, and this person that I need to be. Other days it's a lot more lighter, a lot more expansive, and I feel no need to be anybody, feel no need to be anything or do anything, and it's genuine. It's not a kind of apathetic, like, oh, I don't want to do anything. It's nothing to do, nowhere to go. It's not like that apathetic thing. It's like a genuine, like, life is fine just the way it is. Like, there's nothing I need to prove to others or myself. I enjoy just being. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than these were some thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you watched, go live your own journey. Stop fucking watching me. I do this for myself, and I put them on YouTube for me to come back and watch them. But you know, if other people watch them for ideas or entertainment, then like, whatever. I don't know, like No fucking idea what I'm doing here, but thanks for watching anyway.